Hello again, everyone. Ken from Whittling Woods, back again with another whittling wood carving tutorial. Today we're going to do a little figure on this little cut-off piece of basswood that I have. It's a small. A lot of times you wind up with these. Sometimes they're cut irregularly. I got a little wonky there with the scroll saw. It looks like I think I did that on a scroll saw, maybe a hand saw. I don't remember. But sometimes you wind up with these little cut-off pieces, and you know, they're good to use for tiny little figures. You probably saw from the beginning of the video what the figure's going to look like. You know, they're these little tiny kind of little guys. They're pretty easy to do. We're going to keep this video as simple and straightforward as possible for people who are just getting into whittling. I like to gear my videos towards people who are just getting into the hobby. There's a lot of people out there that have an interest in whittling, and I'd like to you know, help them along if I can in what little way that I can. So anyway, that's what we're going to do here. So we'll be using basically one knife, whatever whittling knife you have. You can also use a pocket knife if you have a Stanley 199. You see me use them in other videos. This time we're just going to use this modified North Bay Forge knife, and probably that's all we'll need, just the one knife. So let me get everything set up and I will be right back. Okay, here we are. We're going to basically just take down some of the wood on each edge here. So that's all I'm doing here. Even on the back of the figure as well. We're going to take that down. Just sort of begin to, as you can see from the top, sort of, you know, begin to round it out just a bit. We're going to call, you know, pick which side you want as your front. This is going to be the front here for me. So I'm going to start whittling that down a bit. Basically, the way I look at this too, I look at the piece and I approximately I break it up into thirds. About a third for the head, a third for the body, and a third for the legs. Maybe slightly more in the legs. We'll leave a little room for the feet, but if you can look at it, maybe if we call that the shoes, maybe we break the rest of it up into thirds. So, you know, use that. Again, a lot of times I don't use specific measurements, but in case you're interested, that's how I'm approaching. That's how I approach a lot of my little, especially the little figures like this. Okay, so for the head, we're going to come down, like I said, about a third, give or take. Maybe about, you know, again, looking at the beginning of the feet right there, we'll come down about a third or so. So, put a little cut there. And then start to angle. We'll form the head first here. As you can see, I'm angling it upward as I go towards the back of the head. Same thing on this side. Again, we're going to kind of get it to a fairly rough, you know, this is going to be sort of like a rough out and then kind of take it from there type of whittle, because I think that's actually a good way to start. Just you know, you get it ready to kind of go, and then you can look at it and decide what kind of little guy you want in there, or gal, I guess. And I'm just going to kind of begin to round out the head just a bit, just a little bit right now. I'm going to take down the face a little bit more here. Basically what I'm looking at, you can kind of see from the top here. And we're going to, that's what you kind of want to do. You want to look at getting the face kind of angled back on both sides a little bit. That's all. All right, so there you go. That's that. We can establish where the shoes are going to be, the boots, whatever you want to call them. Let's say right about here. And put a little stop cut in. Cut down to it. I'm going to have a figure up over here, so you're going to see what the you know, finished, unpainted figure looks like. So there you go. That's that. All right. And for the back here, we're going to basically we're going to establish where the top of the pants are going to be. Again, like I said, about a third, give or take. So we'll say right about here, and we're going to angle it up like that. It'll make a little cut. So you can imagine this is the small of your back. Kind of like so. All right, and then start angling the legs as well. I'm going to figure the knee's going to be right about, I'd say, approximately here. We'll cut that third portion right in half, and again we're going to cut up to it and kind of cut down to it. So kind of like that, you can see. Come up right from the bottom, right to there. And you can start, looking at rounding. We're going to round all these down quite a bit more, but that's what we're shooting for. So there you go. All right. That's where we're at so far. We're going to again carry the, that was our back, so we're going to say the belly is going to come in right about here, give or take. And we're going to give him a little bit of a paunch, I think. Why not? We'll see. Maybe that'll change. And his hands are going to come right into his pockets, so they're going to be right at the top of that pants line. So let's put a cut in there and kind of see, and then we'll just kind of establish that for ourselves. And then we're going to come around here. Let's see where we go. So I'm going to bring it right around, same side, same distance, and cut down to that. So he's going to look like he's got his, his hands in his pocket. And just kind of round it out to that part. So there you go. Pretty straightforward and relatively easy to do. What we can do is split where the shoes are going to be. So we're going to come right in with our knife, straight in, like so. And then we'll take a little notch out here and come back and take a little notch out there, just like so. And then we'll round up the shoes a bit. All right, we're going to carry the pants line down to about almost the halfway point and then cut up to it, just like so, and kind of come around. And that's it. That's going to be his pants line. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, just about the halfway point. That's why it's helpful if you draw in these lines to begin with. They're at the center of the piece. Do it before you start your whittle, and it'll give you something to go on. And then we're going to just notch out the top of each boot. So, or each shoe like that. So, just kind of like that. Alrighty. Let's bring in this part. This is going to be his chest and coming up to where his jaw is going to be. We're going to start bringing that in a bit. Kind of like so. You can see it's beginning to kind of shape up. You can see this is a great kind of just roughed out figure right there. And you can kind of take it in different directions. at this point. So there you go. I'm just going to bring both sides back just a little bit more. And then what we'll do to separate the hands from the body, we'll come in straight with our knives, not all the way up to the top, just to about, you know, you can see where I'm going, a little bit before the top. We're going to come just straight in on the side over here and just make a stop cut right down to where the pants are, just like so. And then you're going to come around, put another little stop cut right up at the top, like that, and then use a paring cut and just remove that piece of wood. That'll separate where his arm is going to be. And we'll probably deepen it a little bit, and we'll do the same thing on the back here. We're just going to come in straight, like here, and we're just going to come straight down to where the pants are, just like so. Put another little slightly angled stop cut up at the top, and a little bit at the bottom here, and just come in and carefully remove that piece of wood. That'll separate the hands from the from the body itself, or excuse me, not the hands, the arms. The hands are going to be tucked in the pocket over here. So that's all. And then, you know, we're going to come back in and we'll round these out slightly. We'll probably deepen this a little bit more at some point. So let's do that one more time on this side. We're going to come in right about here, straight in the wood, bring it right down to the pants line. These are pretty basic arms here. I'm not, you know, putting any real curve to them or what have you. So pretty straightforward. Little figures like this you can get away with simplifying the geometry a little bit. And that's it. On the back, let's do the same thing. We're going to come in here, straight down to our pants, flip it around, put your stop cut up at the top, use a little paring cut, and just remove that little chunk of wood right there. And then you can kind of go back, and so now we pretty much have the hands. Excuse me, I keep saying hands. I'm a little off today. The arms kind of separated from the body. That's it. Okay. So now we just come back in, and I start maybe separating it a little bit more. I'll come back in, and you know, depending on how much I want the arms to stand out, you can deepen that a little bit more. But that's that. So we got the arms kind of in the pocket. What I like to do down at the bottom here is really separate that. Make sure it's separated so you can kind of see where I'm at over here. Come in here, come in where the belly and the arm and the pants come together. Just kind of notch out a little bit of wood over here. It's got to look like it's going behind, kind of like that. If you see how I did that. So same thing on this side. We're just gonna, you know, kind of take a little notch out right in there. That's it. Now for the pants, we're going to, or the legs, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to come in right at the middle over here and put a little stop cut in, like so. Let me just fix the shoe on this side a little bit. So I put a little stop cut in over there. And then I'm just going to basically start at the top of that stop cut and cut right down to the shoe. That'll start to round out the leg and create the effect that there's, yeah, he's got two legs and he's not wearing a kilt or anything. All right, I guess we could do that too. So there you go. Basically kind of separated the legs. And you know, you can come back in here. Again, we're looking to just kind of rough out this figure here. So then you can kind of look at it and decide what you want to do. Same thing for the back. We're going to come right in the middle here, right just below where his backside is going to be, and put a little stop cut in the wood just like so. And then I come up here and put a little notch, the other side a little notch, and then I'll just take out some wood. Again, think of it in terms of rounding out the shape. That's all you're doing here. All right, and just go back and kind of start looking at your figure that way. There you go. I mean, we got the figure kind of roughed out over there. Pretty easy to do. Let's work real fast on the head here. We're going to, I think, just going to make it like he's wearing a hat. That'll be easy enough. We'll put it right down there. We'll come down maybe about 1/3 of the way. Put a little cut in there, kind of cut up to that. That'll be where his nose is. And again, these are so small that, you know, we're going to keep the detail to kind of a minimum. And then I'm just going to carry that hat kind of down and around in this case, just slightly. It's winter time and he's got a big hat on. Same thing on this side. We'll bring that down. Again, just to like kind of where that halfway mark is, and a little past it, I think, because we're gonna want to do it like this, like that. And then we're just going to come in here underneath the hat and start angling it for the nose and the jaw a bit. That's all. So there you go. And then we can kind of cut back the hat a little bit over here. Come back over here. Cut in a little bit. Just to emphasize it wrapping around the head. There you go. Kind of like so. All right, I'm going to strap up my knife and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back here. We'll just cut down here for the nose. Again, we're going to keep these fairly simple, so I'll bring the nose down right about there and carefully cut up to it. And cut that back a little bit more, the whole area where the mouth is going to be. Kind of like so. I'll bring this in just a little bit more. Be careful cutting up to the nose like this. It's not a very deep stop cut, so you will, if you press too hard, you will slice the nose right off. And then just kind of come in here on the side, put a little stop cut on that side and kind of mirror it on the other side. Come just underneath the hat and kind of cut up to that. So we'll just emphasize the nose a bit more. Same thing over here. Put a little stop cut up at the top and then kind of come in. I'm trying to show you here. And just take out that little bit of wood. So we just you know, brought out the nose just a bit more. That's all. We're not going to give any indication of the eyes. His hat's going to be down pretty low. And so that's it. And then just kind of come in here and start rounding out where the mouth will be. Just a bit more. Maybe take back the sides of the nose just a bit. basically create a little triangle underneath there, just like so. And then we're going to come in here for like a smile line. We're just going to cut down, again, keeping it fairly simple, straight in like that. And then we'll do the same thing. I'm going to try to keep this in the camera here. We'll do the same thing on this side. Come in just at where the nose is and put a little stop cut, just like so. And then maybe relieving cut at the top, just where the nose and that stop cut come together, because then you're going to kind of come back in here and carefully remove that chunk of wood. So it'll deepen the nose. These are all kind of a little bit, because the figure's so small, they can be a little challenging to do, but practice and you'll get it. I mess up all the time, so you just get to see the parts where I don't mess up, because it's called video editing. That's it. We're just going to just kind of create a little indication that he's got some kind of jowls there, or smile lines, whatever. You know, you can go back and change them to your heart's content. Let's see over here. What do we want to do? Do we want to put an ear in? Well, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we have enough room here. So I'm going to put a bit of a stop cut almost at that halfway mark over here, and then I'm going to cut out a little wood. And in fact, let me go all the way down to the bottom. My mistake. There you go. Just down like that, little stop cut. Maybe one right at the top, and then carefully come back in, kind of like what we did with the nose actually, and remove a little bit of that wood on the side of his face over there. There you go, kind of like that. And then we're going to kind of cut up from where the just like so, kind of where the nose is. We're going to put another stop cut in there and kind of cut up to it. Just going to give the illusion that there's an ear tucking out from the hat. That's all. And you can actually get away without doing that if you want. And then maybe just round it out a bit. So you kind of give the impression that maybe there's an ear back in there, or not. Okay, so there you go. I'm just cleaning it up a bit. So there. And we're going to wind up doing the same thing on the other side. Make sure I got that looking good there. I think it looks good. Alrighty, so there you go. That's a little indication of an ear or hair or whatever you want to make it out to be. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side that I just did there with the ear. I won't bore you with that because it's repetitive. So. Just practice, and if it doesn't work out, then it's just trim it back and pretend that the ear is hidden completely behind the hat. But that's kind of where we're at. I'm just kind of tucking the jaw and the head behind like it should be, like that. There you go. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got another little ear in there, and we'll start to round this out here. Now this could either be a hat, or it could be hair, whatever you want it to be, but in this case we'll keep it as a little hat, since it's we're doing this here, and it's still February when I'm recording this, so it's, although today the weather is a little bit more mild, but it's actually, well, actually it's not. It's actually, the temperature's been dropping through the day here. It's supposed to be down below 20 tonight, so it's definitely hat-wearing weather. But anyway, there you go. Now we're just going to, that's it. That's the roughed out figure. You can then take it from here and go any way you want. If you feel like that's sufficient for what you're looking to do, then you can stop watching the video now and go take it in whatever direction you want to. But that's basically the roughed out figure. What I'm going to do from this point is just add a little bit of detail. So some of it I'll kind of speed through, since you don't have to, since you don't have to watch every part of that. But what I try to achieve is a bit more rounding of the figure. I like to try to eliminate as much squareness as possible in the figure, within reason. But that's the goal that I try to go after. So I take, as you can see, I'm just going around here and starting to round out where the legs are. And do you have to do this? No, you can certainly go for a different look and keep it more squared. It's just my preference to do it this way. And, remove some of your pencil lines and stuff like that, because we really don't need them now. Maybe curve the arms just a bit. You can even put a little indication, like if you come in here where the the elbow joint would be, approximately, I'd say probably right about there, about halfway, and then kind of cut down to it, and then cut up to it, create a little bit of a curve in the arm, just a bit. Again, these are tiny little 2-inch figures, so you don't have to go crazy in detail. I mean, if you want, go knock yourself out. Challenge yourself sometimes and put as much detail as you can. But don't get hung up on it. If it's not gonna give you the results you want, or it's gonna just frustrate you, then don't do that. We're not doing this to to frustrate and aggravate ourselves. We're doing this to have fun. And the nice thing about this is it's a little scrap wood. If you mess up on it, just flip it around. That's what this is for. Oh, by the way, too, I leave these little, you can see in here, this is actually cut into the wood. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. It's actually cut into the wood. That's just the boundaries I create for myself. So when I come back and I cut these pieces off, I already got an initial cut going in there. That's kind of it. What I'm going to do is tuck in the shoulders just a bit more, Maybe bring the top in a little bit more. Make it up as you go. All right, I'm going to kind of just speed through this part here, so you don't have to. You'll get to see what I'm doing. But again, all I'm doing is just beginning to round out things. When I get to a point where I'm going to be adding a little bit more detail, I'll stop and I'll slow it down and get back. So let me just do that and enjoy the fast speed whittling. Okay, I figured I'd jump back in here. If you want to add a mouth, you can start taking back. You're not going to get a whole heck of a lot of detail in here, but if you can kind of see, I'm taking this area in here, right in there, kind of where between the chin and the lower lip. I'm just kind of coming in there and carefully removing just a bit of wood. I find with these little figures, it's hard to get exacting detail. I mean, if you have a bunch of other knives and smaller knives, I'm just trying to show you using this one knife what you can and can't do. And sometimes, you know, you're out, you're just whittling, and you only have one knife, so you have to make do. So there you go. We kind of brought that back a little bit. I'm going to let you see from the profile there. And then we're going to come in here with our knife about the midway between the nose and the bottom of the chin approximately, and just put a little bit of a cut here. You know, you can curve it or not, whatever you want to do. And that's it. So you kind of see there. And then I'm just going to carefully kind of cut up to that a little bit, just to remove some wood underneath. And then we're going to kind of cut down to it to give just the illusion that he's got lips kind of coming together there. And that's it. That's all you really need to do. You can kind of come in here if you want. And again, it's going to depend on how much detail you want to put in here. And I like to have the edges of the mouth a little bit deeper. So I kind of come in here with my knife right at the edge. I put a little bit of a cut there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. A little bit of a stop cut, just like so. Maybe come right down around the corner. And then just come in here very carefully. There's a little triangle of wood you can kind of just remove like so. Just like that. So the same thing over here. Just put your knife right there in the corner and then come back in underneath and remove that little chunk of wood over there. It's not absolutely necessary to do that, but it might help. It gives the illusion that the mouth is a little bit deeper on that side. And you can kind of come back in here and start rounding that out a bit. So now you got a little bit of a mouth in there. I'm going to kind of start to shape this a little bit more. He's kind of got fairly large jowls and cheeks. He's a little rounder. We did Abe Lincoln a few weeks back for Abe's, what was it, 215th birthday, I believe. And I made a comment that, you know, his face is really thin. This guy's the opposite. He's kind of a bit jowly. So there you go. He's kind of got a bit of a grin on him there. For the shirt, if you want to add detail in here, you can keep it as a sweatshirt or something like that. But if you want to make it like kind of a jacket or something like that, come in right at the middle and just kind of. I put a little bit of a curving cut right down to the pants, like so. And if you flip it around, you're going to want to take the right side and tuck that under. I think the way they design most clothes and jackets, I don't know if this is still the case or not, but I'm older, so it was the case when I was young, and I think it is still today, that the men's shirts and jackets kind of tuck in on the right side, or tuck under on the right side. I believe that's still the case, but what do I know about fashion? And I'm sure most people would say that's not true, but especially today, in today's world. But anyway, that's all I did, just to kind of give it a little bit of a illusion of a shirt, jacket, whatever you want to call it in there. And then maybe what we'll do here is give the illusion of a little collar as well. So we'll kind of come in here at the top and just angle it down from where his kind of cheeks come together, put a little stop cut in, and carefully cut up to that. Like that. So it looks like he's got a little bit of a collar over there, and we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll put a little cut over here. I'm going to come in, same kind of thing I did on that side. Just a little stop cut. Cut up to it. It'll just give the look that there's maybe a collar in there. Kind of deepen it under here, something like that, collar, scarf, whatever you want to do. Again, like I said, you take it in whatever direction you want to go. I'm just kind of showing you a basic way to approach these little figures like that. I kind of like doing little figures. To me, they're almost more preferable than doing larger figures. Although I don't do that many large figures anymore. Years ago I did a few more. I was more into it, doing the larger caricature type things. I don't do that anymore. I like these little kind of fun figures to do. They're quick and easy to do. Paint them up, give them away, whatever you want to do. Or just throw them in a bag and look at them every so often and go, oh, I remember doing that. So there you go. We got a little guy here. For his hat, let's make it kind of have a little bit of a brim on the front here, I think. So let's kind of cut that back just a bit. Let me see what I'm doing. And then just let's go back and round out the top. Okay, there you go. Back here. That's all we did. We just kind of went around and rounded the hat out a bit. Rounded the hat out a bit, and give it a little bit of a brim there. You know, nothing too much. I think it's a little knit hat with a little stiffer brim on there, something like that. I guess you could turn it into anything you want. We're just keeping it nice and simple here. So that's pretty much it here. Some other details that you might want to consider. You can add a little wrinkle lines in the pants here, kind of come down like that and up like that. Put two little lines in there like that. Cut up to it. Cut down to each of those lines. And you see what that did. It created like a little crease line there in the pants. You could do stuff like that. That's all. It's also just kind of go in. Same thing on this side. Just one there, one there. Cut up to it and down to it. You're basically creating like a little bit of a kind of like a chevron or whatever they call those little pointy thing, just to give the illusion that there's some creasing going on there. And then, like I said, just go back now and now you start deciding what you know. Sometimes I like to remove a little bit of wood underneath the pocket. Curve it down and around. Just to look like the hands are in there. You can come in here and you can add the indication of pockets on the back of his pants. put a little line there, a little line there, and just kind of cut down to it. Let's so I think he's got maybe pockets over there. You know, detail that you want to add or not. You want to put a little maybe pocket up here too. Again, just put a line in, kind of cut down to it. That's all. Just gives the illusion that there's some kind of pocket in there. So really, that's it. That's you can, like I said, you can take this in different directions. You can throw a lot more detail in there. You could turn it into lots of different little figures and challenge yourself to come up with little figures as you go. You know, maybe give them a long coat, make them like a, you know, I don't know, like he's got a raincoat on, or give him a kilt. Make that would be fun. Make him a Highlander, and I've never done a Highlander before, but for those people of Scottish descent, there you go. Go about that. That'd actually be pretty cool to do. Turn these figures into anything. These are just little, you know, kind of ideas to get you started here. It's you know, they're simple to do. They're easy. They're great for people just getting into the hobby. I think you can have a lot of fun with them. I like them. I like to do them, and I think they kind of come out pretty cool. They're you see they don't take that long, and you can kind of get them looking you know, pretty fun, and paint them up, and they look pretty good. So anyway, in fact, maybe I'll do that. I'll paint it up and I'll show you what that looks like. But I won't, and I'm not going to bore you with those those details. Let me get to that. Let me get to that, and I'll be right back. Okay, there you go. He's all painted up, and they came out pretty. They're fun to do, as you can see. They don't take all that long to do, and they're kind of fun. By the way, I just wanted to let you know, I just used two colors to paint this particular figure, red and a green. These are just craft paints, folk art, and I blend them together to create the browns, and that's kind of that's all I used on the figure. So anyway, that's it for this week's Whittle. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more figures like this, different varieties, and I'll be happy to get some videos together. We'll be able to do a few more, but let me know if that's of interest to anyone. Alrighty, thank you very much. Have a great whittling week. Talk to you soon. Take care.